Hey guys, it's the Tech Wannabe, and today we're going to do another video where we play a popular game on my ridiculously powerful computer with my less than common aspect ratio to see what kind of FPS we get and if it misbehaves in any way if you're looking to go for something like I have here. I know it's in the title, but just real quick, the specs are a Ryzen 9 5950X with PBO enabled, so automatic overclocking done by the AMD software, and then I have an EVGA for the Win 3 Ultra RTX 3090, again pretty much just doing its own thing. The rest of the specs I won't bore you with in the video, but there will be a list of what my computer is down below in the description if you want to check that out. If there are any games that you really want to see run on this computer, then by all means let me know in the comments down below, and if I can, I'll get around to doing that next. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is first show you the settings that I use so that you have a bit of context for the, the actual frame rate that I'm getting, and I'll show that in a variety of gameplay. So we're going to do some general world stuff first, and then I'm going to jump into an LFR on my alt here so you can see what it's going to be like in RAID. The whole time that we're doing this, I'll be talking about any things that I feel like are a benefit of having such a wide monitor and high, performance computer, and then anything that might be wrong with it. But as far as World of Warcraft goes, it's actually one of the better games in terms of support, especially for 32:9. And actually, that's another important thing I think I forgot to mention just a second ago. The monitor I'm using is the Samsung Odyssey G9. This is a 49-inch super ultra-wide monitor. That's a 32:9 aspect ratio, and the resolution is 5120 by 1440p. So it's just shy off the pixel count of 4K, so it's similarly taxing on the computer, and that's why my PC is so powerful. So let's jump into it by looking at our settings real quick. You can see here that it's pretty much just all on ultra, really. The only thing that I've turned down is spell density, and this is actually just a preference thing here, not for performance. It's so I can actually tell what's going on in raids and such. It only shows you spells that you need to see, which I think is really really important sometimes. Yeah, everything here is on ultra. Then on in advanced, you can see most of this is on, I don't know, medium settings. I think a lot of this stuff I don't play around with too much. Ray tracing is off. Now, it's very hard to actually even demonstrate this properly. If you want to see a ray tracing video, let me know, because that's something I'll have to do entirely separately. I don't think there's anything else here really worth mentioning. You've probably seen it here now. So what I'm going to do is just sort of run around the world here and let you see what the FPS is like. Okay, so this is Bastion, one of the better looking places in the new expansion. At least I think. I really like the way that this place looks. And I'm just going to run around, maybe hit a couple of things just to show you what the FPS does. Now, this is what I would consider a worst case scenario. This is where the GPU and the CPU are being taxed the absolute most. And with G-Sync, at least on this monitor, the lower frame rates around, well, about as low as 60 sometimes, are actually still pretty damn smooth. So it's really not that bad, though it does kind of seem a little bit unreal to only get 60 FPS with these with these specs, but it feels good. Like, it's not an issue. I've never been playing in the open world and thought, holy crap, this FPS is terrible. It does a pretty good job of remaining smooth despite dips as low as 60. And again, I think that's probably thanks to the G-Sync in the monitor. But I'm going to just run around, kill a couple of things, let you guys take in the FPS as it moves around, get an idea of what it's like, and then we'll jump into an LFR like I said. Now, World of Warcraft is actually one of the very few games where the 32:9 aspect ratio seems to be supported properly. As in, things don't get unnecessarily wide as they get towards the edge of the monitor. I'm just using that tree chunk there and moving it to the edge of the monitor and then back again. And it does get a little wider, but I think that's because the actual camera is getting closer to the tree and then further away. Usually what you'll see is an actual stretching of the image, whereas I don't think that's the case. That's actually just the camera getting closer to it. And everything just remains the right perspective. Like, there's some games where the fisheye is just absolutely insane, but in this game, I think it's done perfectly. And as far as the resolution goes, except from the login menu that isn't supported by the aspect ratio, it just kind of goes to 16:9. The whole game runs perfectly well. And I'm actually extremely happy. This is the primary reason I bought this monitor, was to enjoy MMOs a lot more. And yes, it is certainly quite an experience being able to see this much of the areas at any given time. especially when you're running on ultra details. Anyways, what I want to do now is queue up for an LFR and get into a boss fight and show you what kind of, FPS you can expect in a place where it actually matters. So it could take me a couple of minutes as a DPS to find a queue, so I'm going to cut to when I actually get into the group, and then we'll do a little bit more talking then. So I'll catch you guys in just a second. Okay, so this is Sludgefist LFR. Now, we did actually wipe the first time, so, I mean, what do you expect, really, with LFR? No mean comments about my DPS. This isn't alt-okay, and I don't really know what I'm doing, but I think I did okay. Just a quick note as well. Now, this is all being recorded on the actual computer we're looking at. So I'm using the NVENC encoder, which is from the graphics card. Has a very minimal impact on performance. We could probably account for maybe a drop of just a couple of FPS, but I think that's important to say. And as you can see with the fight, FPS kind of hovers around like the 80 to 100 mark, which was a hell of a lot lower than I thought it was. Now, this is, again, probably thanks to G-Sync, but I thought my FPS was like double what it actually is. And this information is new to me. This is the first time that I've really sort of benchmarked the game, in quotation marks, benchmark. And I think I'm going to turn my settings down from now on for a little bit more FPS, because I do raid in Castle Nafria Mythic, and I think it's important for me to have a slightly higher frame rate, just so I can take in a little bit more information on what's going on around me. For the 0.1% times it might save your life, I think it's worth it, but it's still solid performance considering we're on full ultra in a large scale raid with all the spells and everything going off. But yeah, it's not as good as I thought it was, but what is good is the aspect ratio. I mean, just look at how much of the raid you can see. If you are like a raid leader, or at least someone responsible for some stuff in a raid, being able to see this much of it could be a game changer. And I've honestly fallen in love with just how much information can be on my screen at any one time. And now there is a lot more you could do with your UI. I'm still currently working on mine. And again, this is an alt, so I've not really worked on this one, but it's roughly the same as my mains. There is so much room for being creative with your UI here as well, which is just sort of a benefit unique to World of Warcraft, or at least any other MMO that allows you to, customize your UI as much as this game does. Well, I'm going to shut up now, let you guys watch it, take in, the FPS, have a look at how the fight looks in this aspect ratio, and then I'll come back in at the end just to, say a final few words. But if you do bow out before the end, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel as well. Let's make this channel into something, the support really does help, and I massively appreciate it. So until the end of the fight, I'm going to leave you guys to it. I'll see you in a sec. Okay, and that's it. Yeah, I think it's performing well. It is a little worse than I thought it was going to be, which is surprising because it doesn't feel that the FPS is that low. But I think that's more just a testament to how good G-Sync is, more so than anything else. And I'm going to be turning down my settings from now on. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. I sure hope someone found this useful. And if you did, then let me know. If you have any questions about the setup, about the game, or if you want to see another game, just leave a comment and I'll do my best to help you out, or, you know, get that game into a video in the near future. Anyways, this has been the Tech Wannabe again. Take care, everyone. Have fun and all that. Bye.